Hi everyone, Nirvodas here. So a couple days ago, I made a post on Patreon where I asked you guys to give me some questions that I would answer. I thought it would be something kind of fun to do, and this is the result. I'm going to take a look at the questions you asked, go through them, and depending on how this goes, we'll see if maybe I can do this every couple of months or something. So I'm just going to go through the questions that I have in the order I have them. If your question isn't on here, it's just because you posted it between me recording this and getting the video posted to Patreon. So you just fell into that little window where I missed you, and I apologize for that. But anyway, our first question here is from Samurai Katana, who said he'd be interested in knowing, or he or she, I guess, I don't really know, some of my favorite characters and pairings to draw, and if I prefer drawing straight or gay porn. And Gronald Chimpson seconds that question. So, my favorite characters to draw, it can change a little bit because sometimes I end up drawing characters several times in a row and I kind of burn out on them. Like, Teen Gohan is a character that I really enjoy drawing. I just think he's really cute. I like the expressions that I can do with him. But at the same time, like, I draw him a lot. Like, right now, I'm in the middle of doing special training pages, which means I've drawn him, like, 4 or 5 times every page. Like, just several times I've had to draw Gohan there. And so, like, right now, I'm not really feeling like drawing Gohan, but if I went, like, a month without drawing him, I would probably be really in the mood to draw him. And similarly, I really like drawing Helen Parr, Elastigirl, or Mrs. Incredible, or whatever you want to call her from The Incredibles. I don't know what it is about her, but I really like drawing that character. I would like to draw her more. Trying to think who else I really enjoy drawing. Like, I want to say I like drawing Goten and Trunks too, but that's another case where I just draw them so often. Although a character I do draw a lot that I really haven't gotten tired of is Killua from Hunter x Hunter. I really like drawing Killua. Just cute characters, I guess, or characters that I enjoy looking at. Like, the more I enjoy looking at them, the more I'll enjoy drawing them, I guess, which probably doesn't come as a surprise. But there you go. As far as if I prefer straight or gay porn, the short answer is actually Yuri, or lesbian porn. But the long answer is that it changes. And I don't know if that's as much to do with, like, what I've drawn them more of recently. That probably plays a factor, but my mood for what I'm into changes a lot, and it's not just necessarily what I like drawing, but also what I like looking at. So, like, from day to day, I might be in the mood for gay porn, or I might be in the mood for straight porn or lesbian porn, or certain fetishes or kinks, and my tastes run the gamut and vary pretty wildly from day to day. And, like, there's no real consistent response. The reason I said lesbian is because it seems like I can slip into that easier than I can gay or straight, and that's probably because I draw it less, because people tend to respond to the lesbian stuff less. So I don't have as much motivation to do it because my audience doesn't seem to care as much about the lesbian stuff, and that might be why I enjoy drawing it more, just because I don't get as many opportunities to draw it. Like, if I had a predominantly straight audience and almost never drew anything gay, then I would probably feel that way about the gay porn, but that's not the case. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm going to move on. Mr. Gohan21 wants to know what inspired me to start drawing porn. So I apologize if I go on a little bit too long or ramble a bit. I'm going to go through my whole backstory here, the whole thing. So I've been drawing in one capacity or another since early elementary school. I remember drawing, like, superheroes and stuff. And many of those superheroes ended up in the superhero drawing videos that I posted on my site. Some of you may have seen those. And then about the time I got into high school was when I started really sharing my drawings with, like, my friends and stuff. And high school is that era where, like, everyone is getting more hormonal. Is that how you say it? The people are getting hornier and starting to, like, discover sex and stuff. And it starts earlier than high school, but high school is when it started coming into conversations more for me anyway. And so I'm sharing my drawings with my friends, and some of my friends started putting forward the idea that I could draw more risque pictures than what I was doing. And I was also hitting puberty, so I thought that sounded like a great idea. And I didn't do it a lot. Like, I did like 3 or 4 times so my whole time in like high school. It was just like a naked woman here or there. You know, it wasn't really a lot. But around the time I was graduating, I started getting into Pal Comics, which is a website that's actually kind of on the verge of death right now. It seems like they haven't quite hit that, but they seem to be really struggling now. But at the time, they were one of the first porn sites that I found. I think just because they weren't blocked by my my parental controls that were on our home computer. They were one of the few porn sites that I was able to access, and so they were doing Teen Titans comics, and I was really into those. And I was not active on the forum, but I was on their forum, and they were putting together a CD of Pal Comics art, and they asked for members of the forum to submit their art, and so I did I think 3 pictures for that, 2 or 3. I think I did a picture of Aaron Esurance, and I did a picture of Beauty and another girl whose name I don't remember from Bobo 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 Bo, and I think I might have done a Sakura Hinata picture. But I did a couple of pictures. I had to scan them on one computer, save them to a disk, and move them to another computer because the other computer that wasn't hooked up to the scanner is the one that had Photoshop. But I was eventually able to get those pictures done, and I submitted them to that CD. And that was my first time putting my art kind of out there. But I didn't get any response for it because I never, like, they were just mixed into like this big folder on this CD, and I didn't even see the final product. I don't even know that they were on the CD. I guess I know that they got on there because eventually I saw those pictures being posted elsewhere, but they weren't very good. But I was proud of having put something out, and about a year went by, and I was still active on forums, or at least lurking on forums. I don't know if I'd say I was active, but I was on these forums. I was on Pal Comics, and then I eventually ended up on WWOEC, which is a site that is dead now, and I saw all these different artists posting stuff there, and it seemed like a much better community for uploading art, and I kept fantasizing about starting up a thread where I would post my pictures, because it just seemed cool. Like a lot of artists I liked, like Pandora's Box and D-Tiberius, and a few others. I think Raylude maybe was posting there. Raylude was more Pal Comics, but there were artists I liked who were posting on there, and I thought that seemed like the best place to do it. And they were doing this thing called the WWOEC Woman of the Month, which I thought was really cool. And I decided to start doing that. I would do the Woman of the Month thing, and I did a couple of pictures, and I started my own thread. And I was trying to upload there and Pal Comics, but it wasn't going well on Pal Comics. I didn't like the response I was getting. I felt less welcomed on Pal Comics, I guess. So I stuck to just WWEC after like the first week, and it went pretty well. Like I wasn't like a huge success or anything, but people seemed to like the work I was doing, and it was fun. And that was basically where I just started doing it more regularly. I wouldn't do more than a couple of pics a month, but eventually I had enough that I opened up the blog spot, which a lot of you probably remember, and then eventually that got killed just like a year ago, and so I re-uploaded everything to the new site. And the new site at nearhentai.com actually has my full adult work all the way back to the Pal Comics CD submissions, which are like I think some of the first things on there if you look at the chronological posts. But it should be everything I've done should be on there, not including the stuff I did in high school because I don't have that anymore. But everything I've done since then should be on that site now. And I think I lost the original question somewhere around there, but that's basically it. There was no like inspiration point where I was just like, hey, I'll draw porn. It was more I was already drawing. I had a DeviantArt, and I did lots of. I kept trying to make comics. I tried to do web comics, and I was drawing all the time, and I also really liked porn, and it was just kind of natural that those things would bleed into each other over time. And yeah, so that's that. I hope that answers your question. I think I rambled even more than I had predicted I would, but there you go. Ronald Chimpson wants to know if I have any future plans as far as creating more content. Of course, I've joked in the past that I have like 4 or 5 comic ideas a day. I have way more ideas than would be humanly possible to produce. So I always have lots of ideas and plans as far as future content goes. As far as what's in production, I am currently working on a long form Applebridge comic. For those who may not know, Applebridge is my setting for my original characters. Basically, all of my original characters, I just put them in one little town called Applebridge. That way, I just have like one concentrated continuity that I can kind of focus on. And the stories, they may not all connect to each other, but by putting them in the same place, it makes it easy for me to categorize them. Because I do see stuff so rarely that it's convenient to have it all grouped together for like tagging and cataloging purposes. So I have a new comic with original characters that I'm working on. Those of you who are at the $10 or above level have probably already seen the first panel of that, because I sent out that in an email a couple weeks ago. So that's something I'm working on, and I'm planning to do more comic pages for my ongoing comics. I'm almost done with the batch of special training ones I'm working on, and I'm planning to move on and probably do Titan's Tower Knights. I want to keep doing the Near Pokedex and the Mom Swap series. Keep doing those things that I've been doing. Yeah, basically just keep rolling with what I've been doing. I don't think I have much planned that's wildly different from what I normally do. I don't have any new series currently that I'm planning. I'm trying to think if I have any exciting announcements I can reveal here, but don't think I do. Mostly, I wanna get back and try to finish up or make progress on old stuff that I haven't worked on in a long time. That's been my main driving thing. Most of 2018 so far. I just wanted to get back to those things. In the process of moving stuff from the blogspot to the new site, I was reminded of how many projects I have that I didn't abandon, but I just haven't had the time to work on. I've been toying with the idea of going back to Arrow Mugen, which is a really old comic that you guys probably don't even remember. Although you may have seen, like, I think an Arrow Mugen character did a character ask a couple of months ago. I wish I had something more exciting to announce for you, Ronald, but my future plans mostly just consist of trying to keep up the momentum I've currently got, wanting to keep posting something to my public site every day, whether it's a colorization or original content or an SFM compilation or whatever, just posting something every day. Yeah, that's really all I've got as far as plans right now. But I'm always listening, especially to you guys on Patreon. Whatever you have ideas for, I'm trying to listen more. There was an idea in the Discord chat posted where we talked about possibly doing something with like a webcam theme or like somebody recording someone. So I guess sort of like a POV series, or like a POV series with like a little record logo in the corner, I guess, so you can get the idea that it's something being recorded by the person whose perspective you're viewing it from. Though I don't have any progress with that idea, because I haven't decided on like who would be best to use for that. But yeah, I'm wanting to do more stuff with the Exoverse, or the Exoverse is how I've always pronounced it in my head, but the crossover universe that like Sleepover Raid was set in, and our upcoming Hunter x Hunter and Boondocks comic is going to be set in. I want to do more with that, but I don't know what yet. I have a Truth or Dare themed comic set in that universe that I'm really wanting to do, but I haven't been able to make much progress on. Or even just doing like standalone crossover picks that are set in that universe, I think would be fun. And I wanted to do more Dragon Ball F. I've got a picture I'm working on there that I'm pretty excited for to show you guys. And yeah, that's kind of it for now. I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I'm just listing every idea that I've had like in the past few days, or everything I've thought about like today. But I have lots of ideas. I have no idea what'll stick, but hopefully that answers your question. Anime 7, Vey wants to know, I think, oh, he says this is a great idea, which is, I appreciate. This question is, what are your favorite animes, and which ones do you have interest of doing more content with? So, my favorite animes, I have two types of favorite anime. Um, there's, like, the stuff I'm nostalgic for, which may not necessarily be, like, objectively good, but that just makes me happy, because it's from my childhood. So stuff like Dragon Ball, Tenchi Muyo is one. Stuff like that. I don't know, anyone who's probably grew up around the same time I did probably has the same sort of nostalgic memories. And then there's the stuff I'm watching more recently. My Hero Academia I really like. I'm behind on it because I watch it with my sisters, but I want to catch up with it eventually. It's just a matter of finding time to watch it with them because they get upset if I watch it without them. Really like One Punch Man, which is I know is a little these are the more mainstream anime that I like right now, but One Punch Man is one I really like and would like to do more content with. I haven't done any yet, but there are a few characters I really like. Sonic, Speed of Sound from that anime. I've been watching Assassination Classroom, which has a lot of characters I would like to possibly draw. Um, right now, I'm actually watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm actually I'm starting with the Stardust Crusaders, so I'm on that right now, and I'm working my way towards Diamond is Unbreakable, which I know is the more recent season. I've been watching Overlord, which I really like right now, and I would also like to draw several characters from that. I tend to have a lot of fleeting passions. I'm always really into whatever I'm watching at the moment. This is why on the Blogspot I used to have like a list of shows I'm currently watching, and that would be anime and Western cartoons. But like the reason I did that was because I thought it gave people a good idea of what was going to be on my mind if I was like rewatching something like Kim Possible or Batman Beyond or whatever, and I would because I would rewatch those to show them to my younger sister who didn't see them because she just wasn't old enough when they were airing, and I would be reminded of stuff to draw from those when we would be watching them, and also the stuff I was currently watching, the animes I was currently watching. Just because if I'm watching it day to day, it's way more present in my mind, and I'm way more inclined to draw it. So like right now, I've had ideas for like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There's a couple of characters from that I've thought about drawing. All the anime I've said that I'm watching right now, when I'm watching it, I have ideas for drawing it. Whether that comes to anything is another story, because I do have a pretty heavy workload, and I don't always get to do everything I want to do. It's just physically impossible for me to do everything I want to do, and also everything I need to do to keep up my Patreon and keep getting you guys your rewards that you've rightfully earned and that I really want to get to you. So it's kind of a mix. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but yeah. But I also have like, I don't know, if you look back at like a year or two ago, I did like 3 or 4 Squid Girl pictures, and I was really into those, and I'm really happy with what I produced for that series. Those just came about because I was watching Squid Girl, and so it was on my mind a lot. And as soon as I finished it, I just stopped thinking about it. And that's the only reason why I haven't done a picture of Squid Girl in a long time, is I just don't ever think about it, because I'm not currently watching it. It was the same with when I had a spurt where I did a few Kim Possible pictures and a few Danny Phantom pictures. Those were both shows that I was just rewatching for one reason or another. And once I finished watching them, I stopped drawing them because I just wasn't thinking about them. And like right now, it would be nice if I could find the time to do some Overlord pictures. I think when season 3 of Overlord hits, there's a good chance I'll be drawing more of it. Most of the My Hero Academia pictures I've done that haven't been commissions or character asks or Patreon rewards of some kind came about because I happened to watch My Hero Academia that day, and I was like, oh, I'll draw those characters because it's on my mind. Yeah, I don't know. I know that was kind of rambling and not a very succinct answer, but hopefully it gives you some idea of where I am with that. Like shows I would have interest in doing more content of that I haven't. Like if I add the caveat, like stuff that I haven't done a lot of, I would really like to do more with like Tenchi Muyo and Cowboy Bebop. It'd be cool to do more Sailor Moon stuff. I haven't done a lot with that. There's also a show I'm a big fan of that I've drawn once. I drew one picture of, which is Gatchaman Crowds. That show has a lot of characters in it that I really like, and I've only been able to draw one of them so far. But that's got a lot of male characters and a lot of female characters I'm really into. And from the ones I mentioned earlier, like Overlord and Assassination Classroom, I would like to do more of both of those. I've had lots of ideas for both of those that just never really materialize. And it'd be nice to get back to more of like Danny Phantom. I think has a lot of potential I haven't really tapped. Some more of the like Western cartoons from my childhood I would like to do. Although this question was more about anime specifically, but yeah, I've rambled enough. Let's move on. Nathan, another person saying it's an interesting idea, so that's nice. I'm glad you guys are interested. Hopefully this result hasn't been too confusing and incoherent. I don't know how well I'm conveying my answers here, but Nathan's question is, what motivates you to create for us, or what drove you to become a creator on Patreon? So, well, what motivates me to create in general, not just for you, but just in general, is just a desire to see the ideas in my head take form. Like I said, I have lots of ideas every day, and very few of them I actually get to create. But whenever I do it, it feels nice. It feels really good. I don't know if I'd say it's a feeling of accomplishment so much as it's just like a satisfaction. It's like I can get it out of my head and onto paper. It's a nice release. But if you're talking about specifically Patreon and what motivates me to create stuff for you guys, basically about the time I started Patreon, my bank account was near empty. I had a job, and I still have that job, but it wasn't paying well enough to pay for my student loans. And it's a job that I can't work through the full year. I have months where I don't work. And I was about to hit a period where there was going to be several months where I couldn't work. And I had like $200 in my bank account, which isn't completely broke. Like, you can stretch $200, but not very far. And it occurred to me that I wasn't sure that I could make it till the next time I could work. And that's what got me to start doing the Patreon. It's just a desperation or a need to get some extra money. And I thought, people had, up till then, people had asked me if there was a way they could support me financially because they liked what I was making. So even though I have kind of conflicting feelings about like asking for money, I don't like asking for money to do something that I genuinely enjoy doing. But people had expressed an interest, and I thought, okay, I'll set it up. I won't push it too hard, but I'll have it be there so people have the option, and maybe that will help me not starve to death. So I started the Patreon, and as it got going, and I started getting into the idea of letting you guys have more of a say in things, and that's where we got what was started out as a raffle, but I eventually changed it to the comic pages we do every month. And then later on after that, we got the character asks. And what motivates me to create specifically for Patreon is money. Like, I know that's really like kind of a callous or maybe cynical answer, but I need it to survive, and I'm able to live a lot more comfortably and a lot less stressfully because of the extra money that comes in from Patreon. And it would be nice if eventually I could quit that day job and do this full-time all throughout the year. That's the dream. I'm a ways off from being able to do that reasonably, but at this point right now, I'm close. and the extra money definitely helps. And I'm super grateful and appreciative of all of you who support me on Patreon. And I guess it's that gratefulness that motivates me also. If I'm being less cynical, I do appreciate it. I probably would have had to get a second job or something, and may not even have time to draw. Or I would have had to go back to doing like 2 or 3 pictures a month instead of a picture every day like I am right now. That's a big difference in not only my productivity but also my happiness. Like I said before, every time I get a picture out, it makes me happier. And if I was getting less pictures out, I would be miserable. If I had to stop trying completely, I don't even know that I would have any motivation to keep going on with life. It's just it's such a big part of my self-identity at this point that I don't even know what I would do. So yeah, the cynical answer is money. The less cynical answer is gratitude. Alright, Pastry Boy Fritter. Pastry Boy's question here is a little long, but basically it comes down to what goes through my mind when people, and he's asking specifically about himself, give me strange requests to test my skills upon. So Pastry Boy Fritter is one of my epic level contributors at the top level, so he gets a commission every month. And he's been responsible for some very popular pictures in the past, but lately, this is what I think he's asking. I'm giving some context because I think he's asking about his most recent commissions, which have been taking monsters from video games and movies and creating like cuter or sexier versions of them. The first ones were with Resident Evil zombies, and then recently there's been a couple of the Army of Anubis from the second Mummy film. And then I think that's what he's asking when he says strange requests to test your skills upon. And so what goes through my mind with those is less that they're strange and more just like a concern. When I get commissions, and one of the reasons why I don't take a lot of commissions is that I tend to stress about them a lot. I really worry about people regretting their purchase. I worry about that a lot. And so when I get a request like those where they aren't really doing anything, and I assume that's for my benefit. I assume he wants them just standing there in simple poses, so I can focus on the redesign element more than trying to come up with like a creative or interesting pose. My concern with those is more just that you'll get them back and be disappointed that I didn't live up to the test of my skills, I guess, or that you'll get them and think, I wasted my commission for this month because I could have gotten something really sexy, and instead Nier let me down. And that's really more what goes through my mind. It's just that concern. I don't want you to regret your commission. I don't want you to be unhappy with it. But like as long as you are happy with it, you know, that's fine with me. I just don't always. I have a lot of concerns and fears when it comes to doing things that are outside of my normal wheelhouse. Just because, you know, you came to me based off the work I had been doing, and then so to ask something that's kind of out of left field feels like there's a lot of room there for you to get something back that you aren't happy with, and that's my biggest concern with that. And I think that's all of them. So yeah, that's all the questions I have at this time. Let me know in the comments if you guys liked this. I know I rambled a lot. I have a bad habit of trying to explain every facet of a sentence. So I'll say something and then explain every little piece of it, or just restate it again, like I'm doing right now. So I apologize if this was too rambling, but if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy getting your questions asked, I would be happy to do more of these. I just need to know if anybody cares about them, and if not, you know, that's fine. We just won't bring it up again. I'm gonna go ahead and go edit this now, and hopefully you guys will be watching this in the very near future. Thank you for your support. At this time, I'm only planning to post this video to Patreon. I might release it later publicly. I don't know yet. Maybe if I'm starved for content, I can use it to fill out a day on the regular site, or I just post it beneath a regular post sometime in the future. But I really appreciate those of you who support me on Patreon. And if by any chance this does go public and you don't support me on Patreon, that's totally great. I still appreciate your support. I've never wanted to be one of those people who, like, you have to support me financially to be a fan. That's not really how I like to approach my own work. I know everyone has their own reasons for how they handle that sort of thing, but for me, it's just like icing on the cake that I can actually make a little bit of money doing what I really love doing, what I'm passionate about, which is making these arts for all of you. So thank you for your support, and I guess that's it. Bye.